Old Reds with Thatchers, talking about some golden moments from our rugby careers with Ellis Genge.
And Sean Marsden, aka Beat Machine. Grassroots rugby stories, quite fitting. My local club was Reds.
Yeah.
I started at Quinn's, which is the arch rivals over the road, but
Why'd you move?
It was tag at the time. I just didn't really enjoy it. So went to football, played for Bristolian, which is around the corner. Pretty rubbish. I was the keeper and the defenders took my goal kicks. So I then went to rugby, came back to Old Reds, and yeah, I was there for like 5 years, I think. Loved it. Yeah, proper clubhouse, as you can see. Showers were horrible, I think they're still there. And yeah, I just sort of loved the camaraderie and that. Remember coming in here, getting curry sauce, sausage and chips after every game, maybe 2 sausages. All my memories now, obviously we at Bristol, we're in the HBC, it's lush, isn't it? Got aircon and nice place to
Indoor
be.
barn.
Yeah, and then like, when I think back and what I enjoyed about it, at the time you don't enjoy it, but when you're freezing, covered in mud and you come in, you have like chips and curry sauce for that, it was actually mint crack, and then you go outside and your number ones and get them muddy as well. So stuff like that is what I remember about rugby really, especially local rugby.
Nice. I was pretty similar. I didn't start too young, but I think I was 9 or 10, and it, like you say, it was just what you did on a Sunday, wasn't it? You just rocked up. My mum used to help out in the kit shop or doing the teas and on like a rota, and yeah, you went and just had a good time with your mates. And then it got more competitive as you got a bit older, into the combination cups, and then going over the bridge to play some Welsh teams up to Gloucester. But yeah, it was good times. I think we were lucky, like I said, the couple of dads that did our group were legends. They played rugby themselves. They played at Clifton, they played at Oretians. So they're like proper rugby folk. I think it's a good time of life, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny. Biggest influence on my rugby career, there's loads of people to be honest, and Bean's probably going to crack up, but Doug sits at the top. Big Al. He was brilliant for me. He seen me play at Keynsham because I moved from Reds to Cleve. I was there for 6 months, then went to Keynsham for 6 months.
If you don't say his whole name, he's going to be annoyed.
Yeah, Alan Martinovich. He would be annoyed about that. But I think he's touched so many lives in terms of like youngsters who, I don't necessarily say made their careers, but like you got to say he has been a massive influence on so many professional rugby players' careers.
Crazy.
His list is 10 pages long, as he likes to recite. I think he's probably got the best eye for talent I've ever seen. Not speaking about myself, but Johnny Hill was in the agricultural team, wasn't he? And he just went, "You're in." And
well, I remember when he was at collegiate school, when I was at school in Bristol, and he was like, you know, that daily, before he went to Hartbury and that Daily Mail run that they went on, he pushed that and got kids from all around the country, didn't he? Yeah. Like you say, he was able to just spot them early.
It was mental. So good at it, like talent ID. So yeah, Alan gave me a scholarship at Hartbury, and I probably wouldn't have cracked on that. I might have went to Filton or done an apprenticeship and tried to give it a crack, but I think the environment out there, as you well know, Bean, was class for me. And then Matty Clark, who was a coach at Reds from when I was, I think, 10 or 11 all the way up until 14, and he's a like proper family friend and great mate of mine now. Do you know what I look back on now as an adult, and when I was not a troublesome kid necessarily, but someone who wasn't great at listening and didn't think about things too much, the time and effort people put into stuff. Like now, for example, say I get out a Lego or something with Raph and you don't want to do it, I think, God, I've put so much time and effort into setting all this up for you, and you don't want to do it. And looking back on it, when you was like messing about on training and that, and they still like persist and give you all their time and energy, like it's proper people to do something like that. I couldn't do it myself, I'd lose my hair, but yeah, I think that's probably something that sticks out for me. Alan, when I was at Hartbury, I was playing up and he stuck by me, or Matty when we were here and we were messing about outside, and he still turned up every Tuesday and Sunday in his own time, you know?
Yeah, totally agree with you. I think, for me, it was certainly not one person, but I think, look back at those Clifton days I was just talking about, and you had Glyn Thomas, Frank Ewens and Paul Pritchard, Johnny Pritchard's dad.
Mm.
You know, those guys, like you say, just off their own back on a Sunday, just out there, like, you know, made it fun, and like were there week in, week out for years and years and years. I think, you know, then if I think about my school, there was Rick Sellers and Conrad Snook.
Mental name.
Mental name, yeah.
I met Bean in, I don't know if you remember it, work experience in 2009. I came to Bristol and they trained on the Downs and I done the water bottles for them.
You reminded me of that the other day, and I do remember it now. What first struck me most about Ellis back then, he was playing number 8, weren't you? And he was just,
Incredible.
he was like a, he was like a man playing boys rugby. He was so physical and strong and quick. Like at that time, that was the first thing that struck you. Like it wasn't necessarily his skill set in terms of ball in hand, but it was how destructive he was and committed, and blessed with physical presence. You know how you were able to pull that group together, the energy that you brought, and to be honest with you, the crack and the fun that you had. I always said we had then, because I sort of felt like it was good. It was good fun for everyone.
You were my first experience of having, and I see it now when like Jan obviously is transitioning now into coaching, but it's the first time I'd ever experienced like an immediate ex-player. Well, you were still playing, weren't you? Nat 2, Nat 1, going into coaching. Like it's mint now to see how you would have viewed like us having all the crap and like how much you want to be involved in it, but trying to sort of not be the leader of it. And it was class at the time, like having that back and forth with your coach. But now seeing like Jan and that go in the other day when he was in the changing room, he didn't want to be involved in it. It's mental, really, isn't it?
It's totally mental, yeah. But the thing that struck me was just the togetherness, and I think you brought that togetherness as you just wanted everyone to buy in and be tight together. You drove a standard in training because you only know one way, it's either on or off. And people had to live with that if they wanted to be part of the team. And you obviously thought you were the king of Hartpury as well. You used to walk around, didn't you? You had your jumper that was slightly too high, and you had your really tight trackies, and you had your stupid little man bag.
My trackies weren't tight.
And you had this stupid little man bag thing, didn't you? And you walk up the hill.
I had my USB sticks in, mate, for lectures.
And everyone wanted to rip the piss out of you, but everyone was a bit scared too.
Listen, to Bean speak about myself then, like anyone you chat to will tell you like no one got a bad word to say about Bean. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, whether they're slagging you off behind your back or not, but no one ever has a bad word to say about him, and like the way he builds relationships, time he invests in it. And it isn't just people, like for myself, someone who's an international, you could have someone at the club who's literally just turned up and being like invests every bit of time that he can into the person to build a relationship. And I don't sit in your backs meetings, thank goodness, but the stuff I hear when we come out of them is like the way that you view the game and that you bring the best out of people due to the relationship you have. So my first memories of you, I guess, was like that young sort of, you looked exactly the same, just a little less grey, and you had like ball of energy. And then as we sort of progressed through, I've just seen you mature into obviously a great coach, great dad, great friend, and then playing. And it reminded me the other day when you wore shorts in the warm up, which was crazy because you got pastel white legs and dark blue shorts on. It should never be seen again.
Sticks dynamite.
Yeah, sticks dynamite. But I watched him play fullback for Hartpury. He had a bad toe and he just could not move at all because he had his toe fused. And I remember him like, yeah, it's all good. I've had the op. I'm fine. I can remember him just like limping around in the backfield. You came off after 20 minutes. But I came off after 28 for a different reason, so it wasn't much better. But yeah, that was my first memory of him really, like playing with him for the RFC. I think I was 17 or just turned 18. And I was playing with Bean, who obviously was like my coach at college, and I had to come play with him at the RFC, and then it was just like a whirlwind, wasn't it? But yeah, he's just that absolute heartbeat of the club. And fingers crossed, I know you've got a career to look after in terms of coaching, but I hope you stay here forever because you're everything is good about Bristol.
Yeah, I hope I don't go anywhere else as well, to be honest with you.
Show this to the boss man. Yeah, for me it was when I realised everyone, I don't know if the word is important, but how much everyone was invested. And for me, when I come back, I played for Leicester at the Gate, And that game when they were all singing, he's coming home, he's coming home. And I tried not to smile. Genji's coming home. And like, that was mint. I remember Joyce being like, go on, you want to smile, you want to smile. And I did. I thought, like, you feel special, right? You feel important, you feel loved. And obviously we won in the end, so I was allowed to smile. But it was like, it was a surreal moment for me. Like, obviously rugby traditionally is always just Bristol, and like for me to have a chant like that, yeah, I thought this is class. And obviously you come back and supporters are just so passionate and they love you being Bristolian. The second you hear, we stayed at that hotel the other day down for Scarlets, and there was like, we were just chatting and they turned around straight away as soon as they're in the Bristol accent. It was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And I do feel like we're almost like, you know, the Scousers view themselves as like not English. I think like we Bristolian and then we're English after, in a weird way, because like the community's so tight knit and find it so important to be community people, and like you see the work all the boys do out in the community, it speaks for itself. So yeah, that was probably for me when I sort of realised how special it was.
Yeah, I think times were a little bit different when I came through, and my journey clearly isn't as high profile or have the status that yours does. But I think when I signed out of school, there was no academies set up or anything, and I went and made my debut the first game of the season down at Exeter. You know, that it hit me straight away that, you know, all these supporters that you'd see around Gloucester Road, you'd see around the Mem, followed you everywhere. You had the local Evening Post and the Green, and you know, it was big, like the write-ups in there and stuff, because there's no social media, no nothing like that. But yeah, it was huge, you know, and playing for your hometown clubs straight away, without anything sort of before that. So no academy, no nothing, just like bang straight into it. Or aren't they? You know, there's a hardcore crew of probably 150, 200 supporters that literally I can remember them being there then, and I still see them now around Ashton Gate and on European trips and everywhere you go. Yeah, it's class. I think I'm super proud of what Ellis has gone on to achieve. I think, again, now I'm a coach. You know, I've coached grassroots level with Coach Avonmouth for a long time. You know, I've coached school kids, academy transition, and now with the seniors. And I think that journey as a coach, the most rewarding thing are those development years when you see players and you're lucky enough to meet individuals like Ellis, and you're a small part of their journey, but you're then able to stay in touch and keep connected. And I don't think my relationship with Ellis is any different now from the moment we met, day one. And I think, yeah, I'm so proud to watch and see what he's been through and where he's got to, and he attracts people to him. And I think that's another strength of Ellis, of how he's able to inspire people and stick to task on the pitch, but also inspire people outside it. You enjoy mixing with people and you enjoy helping other people out. But Bristol's a small place, and I think it's so nice to have him back home, and you know, and seeing him thrive, have a family, have businesses, you know, as well as his rugby as well. So yeah, very proud of what he's done.
I'd say, solely speaking from a Bristolian perspective, I don't know anyone who didn't play at a proper grassroots club. And like you speak about like rugby clubs, and I've had the experience of being up in London with some of those boys, and they speak about, I don't know, Esher off the top of my head. And I just don't get the same, when they speak about it, I don't get the same feel that the emotional attachment that they had to their grassroots clubs growing up. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misreading it, maybe I'm biased, but I think everything that's good about Bristol rugby always comes from the combination rugby. Like growing up, the fixtures we used to play in, was the standard amazing? No, but like everyone proper loved it, and like people turn up. We used to have like 40 odd kids at our age group. It's tailed off a little bit now, and I think obviously what's going on in the world has probably affected that a bit. But like we had so many people turn up day in day, well not day in day out, Tuesdays when it was freezing cold in the winter, like people riding their bike to training, you know what I mean, down the lane, and it reads like soaked, and like people were just so keen to be a part of everything. And then I chat to Joyce, obviously he was at Mary's, But he's from Southmead, which is weird. And then like even when he goes back to Southmead Rugby Club now, and like I enjoy even with Imperial, like by my mum's
Yeah.
house now, like just going down all the Imps boys out. I'm on like a WhatsApp group with them, and they're all like trying to pile people into training and stuff. The passion and time and energy that people put into grassroots rugby in Bristol, I think, is just unmatched.
I'd agree. I think it's like it's such a big part of Bristol. I think we went to the memorial service the other day, didn't we, at the Mem, and they go through all the combination clubs to lay their wreath, and it reminds you of just how many clubs and how many people are involved in rugby in Bristol. Agree with Genge in the sense that that's the journey that every rugby player starts on. Every rugby player has a local rugby club that they go to, and they remember those days of playing with their mates, dads coaching, hot dogs afterwards, playing against their mates for rival teams, and I think that camaraderie is something unique to rugby, and you need it. I think purely from a development perspective, some kids don't get as much rugby at schools as other kids as well. So I think it's really important to have the numbers thriving in the combination clubs to give access to kids to play games on a Sunday that might not be getting them at school on a Saturday or through the week. So I think that's huge. There's some lads that are playing school at rugby. There's some that aren't, and for the ones that aren't, that's their sort of opportunity to play in it and express themselves and develop as a rugby player. So I think it's massive, and yeah, I think it's just a huge part of Bristol, and to have that sense of community around all the combination clubs is huge, and it's something that gives you friends, it gives you a social aspect, and it's yeah, it's huge for the city.